places promise to the future. Special places where our heritage and our hopes are preserved for posterity. National Parks, an American legacy.
National parks have inspired countless individuals for years, from the towering peaks of Denali National Park to the arid expanses of Death Valley. Many people have wondered, are these lands worth preserving? For John Muir, the answer was a definite yes. John Muir was a passionate advocate for national parks. He dedicated his life to their preservation by giving speeches, publishing poetry, and even meeting with President Theodore Roosevelt to persuade him to protect these natural treasures. Many believe Muir's efforts played a significant role in Roosevelt's decision to sign the Antiquities Act of 1906, which led to the designation of 18 new national parks. In 1916, the National Park Service, or NPS, was established through the tireless efforts of Stephen Mather and Horace Albright. However, challenges remain. In 1923, when the Hetch Hetchy Valley in Yosemite was dammed, Muir was outraged. He famously declared, "One may as well dam for water tanks the people's cathedrals and churches, for no holier temple has been consecrated by the heart of man." This event highlighted the need for stronger measures to protect national parks. In 1929, the stock market crashed. Banks faced massive withdrawals, and the Dust Bowl devastated farmland. The Dust Bowl was due to over-farming the land and not being aware of the environment. Those events began a period of times for the American people. Jobs were scarce, and millions of people were unemployed. In 1932, Franklin Delano Roosevelt was elected president with promises of a New Deal to create jobs. One of the acts he signed as a part of the New Deal was the Civilian Conservation Corps, also known as the CCC. During this time, discrimination against African Americans was considered standard, and national parks helped whittle down that belief by having everyone work together. Humankind has also not been the best to Earth. The Great Depression made national parks a place where people could get jobs and realize the importance of nature. Everyone deserves the right to work, or as the Declaration of Independence stated, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, regardless of race. This includes equal employment opportunities so they can support their families. During the Great Depression, employment opportunities for African Americans were scarce. Senator Oscar DePriest, the only black representative at the time, requested that the CCC would, that in employing citizens for the purpose of this act, no discrimination shall be made on account of race, color, and creed, giving everybody the ability and the right to work. This was followed initially, but there were instances in the South where blacks were refused the ability to sign up with the CCC. In other places, more subtle tactics were employed. One of the ways was to have tiers of most wanted candidates, where the blacks were always in the lower tiers, and so they were never employed. This often required federal attention to be stopped. In areas with fewer black candidates, integration did happen, however, with the African Americans serving as cooks or domestics, with little to no chance of promotion. When there were more black candidates, entire black companies were formed. They were then stationed in remote areas because the people in urban areas protested against blacks working in their communities. Despite all this, they were treated well and were paid equally. The Black Company 818 was integral to creating and preserving the Grand Canyon. They are the people who built the Colorado River Trail at the Grand Canyon National Park. Because of their efforts, they will have an everlasting impact on the nation. When Lyndon B. Johnson signed the Wilderness Act of 1964, he stated, "We have always prided ourselves on being not only America the strong and America the free, but also America the beautiful. Today that beauty is in danger." National parks can help protect the world against the growing fight against climate change. Having national parks not only preserves the land, but also preserves cultures. Many Native American traditions and languages are beginning to die, and national parks can help maintain that culture. We have a responsibility to be respectful to the lands where we live. The United States spent $6.25 trillion in 2023, and a mere 2% was used for natural resources and the environment. America has been built upon our natural resources from the land. 2% is all we do for the beautiful world we live in. We need to make that better. We rely on the world for many things and need to be able to give back something. We must truly appreciate the world and become better stewards of what we have been given. The CCC in its peak performance employed 500,000 men. The total number of people they employed was 3 million. The CCC planted 2,300,000,000 trees. They built 126,000 miles of roads and trails, many of which are still used today, such as the earlier mentioned Colorado River Trail in the Grand Canyon. 100,000 miles of telephone lines were placed, helping the national park rangers to communicate and be better prepared for forest fires or be warned of dangerous wildlife in areas. The telephone lines also improved tourism as people could communicate while in the parks. 6,660,000 small check dams were installed to avoid soil erosion. They help maintain the roads and trails we still use today. More than 7,000 larger dams were built. They are used today for recreation and water control. All in all, the infrastructure of the National Park Service is based on the CCC. The Great Depression moved the civil rights movement up by at least 5 years, because when everyone was at their worst, they were all equal and had to work together to improve their lives and be able to become better from what they were. In 2023, 325,500,000 people visited national parks, including myself. National parks help hundreds of millions of people annually. They inspire art and poetry like these posters that were created for national park awareness. An article explained the essence of national parks, remarking, "A national park can be more than a place. It can be a feeling or a state of mind or a sense of American pride." A 2012 survey showed that almost 9 out of every 10 Americans believe that it is quite or extremely important that the government protect natural lands. Today, there are still problems with discrimination. However, African Americans' lives have improved because of the civil rights movement and more recently, the Black Lives Matter movement. The Great Depression helped unify everyone and let them see that we are indeed all the same when status and race are made obscure. The American spirit is shown in national parks, and they have molded us and made us better people in dark times. They are special places where our heritage and our hopes are preserved for generations to come.